All the Juggalos in recovery.
The idea of me using I've had it worse was the idea to think back and look at our lives and see how far we've come and see how shit our life used to be. Seems to be a recurring topic because, we lived a pretty shit life before we decided to get our shit straight. So, one of the things you should know if you're watching this on YouTube is Juggalos in Recovery. We do a 12-step program. You don't have to work the 12-step program. We also are non-exclusionary. So as long as you are not using the drugs that you had a problem with, we don't really give a shit what you do. So with that, let's go ahead and move on to what the actual topics are going to be. So we look back on how shit our life used to be. I know for me personally, at my worst, I had nothing going for me. I didn't have anything to look forward to because the only thing I could focus on was getting my next hit, getting my next drink, getting my next adventure that ultimately ended up with me in some kind of fucked situation that, in today's world, I wouldn't think twice about doing because I've got so much other shit going on that I don't really need to do that. So, what about you, D? Do you got anything that you can think back, like a specific memory of where you were in a fucked situation that you'd never put yourself in today?
I kind of talk about it on and off here. I think I was just talking about the last meeting with Frank too. Like, due to my choices from my alcohol and drug addiction, right? Because that's what I was. That's what I did. Like anything to um, find a sense of ease and comfort in my own skin, pretty much, right? To find some sort of peace of mind, right? Well, the consequences of my actions, I'm like 11 months out of my first prison bid, which was a gladiator camp. As soon as I got out, I'm drinking and getting high the next day. My fiance that I'm back with now was 6 months pregnant. I went up to the bar. I've been smoking spice and drinking Four Locos and smoking weed and God knows what else I was doing. Kind of hazy night, and I get a wise idea on the way back. Hey, I could break into this tattoo shop and get some stuff out of here, so I can make money for the rent because I'm such an addict. I can't even hold $700 down to pay the rent when I have a kid on the way. And somebody across the river called Crime Stoppers. They see me go in the building, so I get arrested in the building, and now I'm in the Martin County Jail facing 15 years minimum mandatory punishable by life sentence because they hit me with the Prison Releasee Reoffender Act. And my options were to take 15 minimum mandatory, that's 2010, or get up to a life sentence if I took it to trial and lost. So technically, Chris, me and you should have never met. I should still be in prison, but the carnival, my higher power, God, whatever you want to call it, had a different purpose for me, and I pled mercy on the judge, and he gave me 4 years and told me to quit blaming my criminal life choices on my addiction and alcoholism. So I would never want to be in that situation again, but I also would have never found a higher power spirituality without that situation because I was I would say atheist, but really I was agnostic because there's a difference. I knew there
Yeah.
was something. I didn't know what the fuck it was, and I didn't give a fuck what the fuck it was. So I wasn't without belief that, you know, everything just is here for no reason. Like everything's put in place for a reason and everything happens for a reason. So there's something out there that spared me and showed me that he was out there when I got the 4 years instead of the 15 that they wanted.
Yeah. So I'm gonna play off of that one a little bit. So I'm gonna tell you just a bit about what I was doing over the weekend. I was just up at a fucking mansion playing games with the creators of Into the Echo Side and a couple of the characters from Quest for Shangri-La doing a gaming weekend with a whole bunch of higher ups. 20 years ago, when I was at my worst, I was really fucking bad. I was living on an island, which sounds fancy as shit until you realize that you're just kind of stuck there. So what I would do was when it was time for me to get some fresh cash, we'd go out to the boatyard. We'd find yachts that were sealed up or winterized, slice them open, wait a couple of days, make sure they don't tape them back up, go in, steal fish radars or whatever they had left that had any type of value. We take them out to the fucking pawn shop and go get shitty for one night. And that's 2 weeks of planning for a night of something.
Yep.
And that's so fucking stale to me now. I couldn't imagine wasting 2 weeks worth of planning to go out and have one night of fun when I'm out doing all kinds of really cool shit without any of that years later. I've been in some shit situations. I'm surprised I never got caught, but it was shit. My life now so much fresher than it ever was back in the day. What about you,
I mean,
Brian? You got
I mean,
anything to say there?
I feel you. I was doing the same kind of shit. I mean, I just tend to get caught more often than not, and that's usually because I'm white boy wasted when I do get caught. But I mean, my dad went into treatment, and I pawned a bunch of his shit while he's in treatment when I was like 17. I've robbed, pawned, hustled, anything to get the next fix because it was easier than trying to get a job and get the next fix when I couldn't hold down a job because I was alcoholic and addict. So anything, that was the easiest way to get cash to stay. I was pretty much seldomly always highly intoxicated and on drugs, unless I was in a jail cell. That was pretty much me from 13 until I got sober in 2018. So that was pretty much my life completely. And all the 4 years in prison did was teach me when I did go back out there how to be a better criminal and not get caught.
Now, I'm going to tell. Go ahead.
Now today though, like I look back and I'm coming up on 4 years of sobriety, and I started out with, box of clothes, a suitcase with some tattoo equipment, everything burnt to the ground, to like this year has been like so many things off my bucket list and so many things I wanted to do. Like I started the year with my first time going out of plane and jumping out of it because I've always wanted to go skydiving. And I have a fear of heights.
Same.
So people think I'm crazy because I did that, but I'm like, I just like conquered like a couple of my biggest fears, and I found peace and serenity in that free fall, unlike anything else. And I went to the gathering this year. I was doing college this year, which I have to start back in January. I'm getting married. I bought a house, like all types of things like that I wouldn't trade for any of that old lifestyle, that are just like, you always hear people in sobriety, oh, living a life beyond my wildest dreams. Yeah, because what I dreamt was dead in a jail cell. That was my dreams, or homeless on the side of the road alone. Like that was my biggest aspirations.
Yeah.
And me and so we were talking about last meeting. I think part of it also gave me the drive to, in my low spots in recovery, to go, I will prove all you wrong that thought that's all I would ever be. And I'm going to prove myself wrong on that one too, and just keep setting goals and reaching for them, no matter how long they take to get there.
Yep. So, I'm going to do it a little different now. So, one of the first things that I ever got the ability to do that I would have never been able to do when I was drinking and drugging as hard as I was we had been running Morton's List at the Gathering for a number of years at that point, and I already been mad sober for some years, but we got invited out to talk about what we do at the Gathering on Psychopathic Radio. And I think that was the moment that I realized how far I had come and how far away I was from the type of life and the type of actions that I used to hold on to. Do you have a situation like that, like an accomplishment that made you realize how far you had come?
I mean, I just listed a series of them, right?
Right, but what was
Um,
the first?
the first accomplishment that made me realize how far I come. This is gonna sound like the stupidest shit in the world, right? Because
Go.
I had like 5.5 years of sobriety before, right? But I was just still miserable, so I didn't really see any like accomplishments. But it's gonna sound like the stupidest shit in the world. Is I still didn't have a driver's license yet. I was still, just slumming in a halfway, working at a labor hall, getting paid minimum wage, pushing a broom, and just like really involved in a 12-step program and like, doing my thing. I didn't have fucking nothing back yet. I was still just like single, finding myself and completely crazy from the drugs and alcohol. And I remember going to visit my kids and me, and she was my ex. She's my fiance now. She was my ex at the time. Are going to go to Walmart, and my dad hands me his debit card and tells me to grab some stuff from the Walmart and not to worry about the receipt. And I was like, "You trust me with your bank card, and you don't want a receipt?" And that was like just the biggest accomplishment to know that my dad trusted me and seen some change in me that I'm not even seeing in myself yet, believe it or not. Because me and my dad, like my parents got divorced when I was 12. I didn't fuck with my dad for a very long time. Like we've had fist fights, all types of stuff. And to see that kind of respect and that love from him was a major accomplishment for me.
I love that.
Well,
Yeah, that's a great story. As you know, it may not seem like much, but that's something. That's a huge step. That's that level of personal responsibility that or accountability that many of us struggle to achieve until way later, and we've had to work to prove ourselves in our sobriety. That's just not something that many of us realize until way later.
I mean, I think for me, like maybe it's not so stupid, but like every human deep down wants their family to be like a unit and to love each other and be proud of each other and be happy for each other, right? So like spending a life without that feeling and then having that type of feeling, is like, wow, where has this been my whole 30 years of existence?
Right. It's so fresh, dude. I love it. But with that, I think that kind of tackles our topic for today. Do you have anything else you want to talk about tonight?
I don't know, man. I just had it's a rough day at the day job and I'm just exhausted. I didn't get to take lunch. I'm feeling the bags growing under my eyes.
Yeah.
The wedding's coming up in freaking 10 days. I'm so ready to get that part over with because planning for a wedding and decorating and doing all this stuff is exhausting. And
Yeah.
um, all good stuff, but I'm ready for the holiday season to be over with so I can go into relax and prep mode for August.
Yeah. I'm right.
Relax and prep and start prepping.
Yeah, I am right there with you. I found out over the weekend that I'm working all of the Halloween shows. So that's something. But I'm
Oh
so
yeah,
ready to get it over with.
and they're doing it big this year.
Yeah, I know. So
You got okay. You're gonna have to send me some personal pictures from the freaking Bloody Sunday. That's all I'm saying. Like that, just
yep.
the flyer looks stupid fresh. So
Yeah.
I wish I had the funds and ability just to like fly up there for the show and come back. But
Oh
wedding
man.
and adulting and life, I don't have that privilege right now. So
Dog, if I
I
wasn't working it, I wouldn't afford that either because that's like $600 in tickets.
I'm just saying. What was it? Something Mac. What's the word that starts with an M? Macro. Uh, I'm retarded. I can't remember the word that. Anyways, it's supposed to be like a dark theater, so I'm interested to see how dark it is, right?
Okay.
And like in the beginning, when you're playing the
Macabre.
music, macro, that one.
Yeah.
And you were during the songs you were playing Wretched, man, and when that song dropped, I was like, this is that like dark shit. I fucking love it.
Oh
Like
yeah,
it,
it's gonna be good. I was talking to a handful of people that were out at the gaming thing, and they were talking about their clowning routines because some of them are clowns up on stage. So I got to get a little bit more behind the scenes type info, and that was pretty fascinating.
yeah, all my funds and everything is just gonna go to, oh, we got a late arrival.
Dog,
All my funds and everything is gonna just be going to waiting for August, bro.
yeah,
So
you've got so much going on in your life right now that I'm super happy for you.
I slept in a tent last year. I'm trying to get a hotel this year. Fuck that shit.
Dog, I sleep in a hammock every year, and it's the cheapest way to do everything. But
We'll
you
see.
also know me.
We'll see how it
I'm
happens.
fucking busy all gathering.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm gonna see what happens. Play it by ear.
Yeah.
Chelsea.
Oh, you made it.
Yeah, I failed. I failed.
Almost. We were about to shut
Yeah,
it down.
We're about to shut it down, so you
sorry.
made your
Well,
grand appearance.
I've been painting and I'm using myself at the moment, so
So,
because people
so
suck.
Well, it's better than using yourself than somebody else. So yeah.
right.
Yeah, so I avoided everyone and then lost track of time.
Yeah, I was drawing on my tablet before the meeting. Anyways, I'll let Chris give you a rundown, a recap.
Yeah. So, the topic for today was I've had it worse just looking back at when we were at our lowest to where we are now and how far we've come in our journeys, whether it be big or small. So I was just telling stories about where I am now, which is like bigger than I could have ever imagined. I'm living the real dream life type shit. Bryant was talking about even the smallest thing of just somebody trusting them with some money, even though they got the history of running off with everything. What about you?
Yeah.
You got anything that you can add on to that?
I would say when I've been doing really good, the nonsense of people that don't even really know me or know my whole story
Hmm.
being okay with me watching their kids for 2 seconds if they need a phone call or to escape for a minute because they need to breathe.
Oh
I would
yeah,
say that's one of my things that I've gotten that I think is kind of awesome.
that's a pretty awesome accomplishment. Like having that level of trust with somebody that has a history is hard to accomplish. So that means you're doing something right.
Hell yeah. What was your low spot, Josie, where you're like, fuck, when you look back, like that shit was not what was it. That shit was fucking whack. It was still as fuck.
I don't fucking know when I put other shit or other people over my kids, I guess, and myself. Ah,
Yeah,
I,
I
I
could feel
I'm
that.
tipping myself over there.
I can relate to that because I definitely put drugs and alcohol and everything before my kids or my fiance or my family or friendships. Like drugs and alcohol were my higher power. They were the carnival. They were God. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that was me too. Like I never had kids or real family type shit, but it was drugs over me all day.
Just a slave.
Yeah, it's just get by to get high, and that was enough. And then eventually became too much, and I got better.
So Josie, you got like what, like a year now?
I don't know. I don't like numbers. Numbers are freaking evil.
I'm just saying it's something like
Sorry.
that. It's something like that. I know we
Sorry,
talked
not
before.
sorry. I don't fucking know. I don't pay attention. Numbers suck.
Well, I'm just saying, how far have you came in your like year or so, however long it's been?
I would say since the last gathering I went to, I say I made it freaking far from that because I fucked up then because of someone else making me do shit I didn't want to fucking do. But I didn't have the willpower to go to anyone else there because I was a chicken shit.
We've all been there. It's sometimes it happens that way, and then eventually we become stronger, either due to our community, due to a 12-step program, or due to self-reflection. We eventually end up growing beyond what we used to be because we're not the same
Or a
people
little
that we were.
monster telling you to. So not even yourself.
I mean, I definitely had my inner demons that were part of the drinking and drugging, but that's like the mindset thing. But I guess I was the person on the other side of the shoe. I was the peer pressure bad influence. Take a shot, pussy. Come on, drink some more. I don't care. You just threw up. Drink some more. Like I was that kind of person. I was probably a bad influence to anybody who drank or drugged with me.
A lot of people that lived in Florida were that way, especially ones that went to shows, I would say. That's all
Florida
of
man.
y'all.
Florida
Yeah,
man.
that's all y'all. That's all y'all. You all sucked. You all sucked. I hated you all.
I was a dumb
But
kid.
I'm over it.
For sure.
I think
was
we
a
all
dumb
were.
kid.
That sounds like me too, but I only lived in Florida for like 6 months.
Yeah, but I guess it's that misery loves company
I was there
thing.
for 7 years, so I saw it all. It was scary.
I guess it's like that misery loves company thing. I'm already miserable, fucking up my life. Hey, you want to join? This will be a fun night tonight.
It was just get as much in me as possible, as quick as possible, and encourage everybody else to get in what I couldn't.
Yeah, and then I wouldn't feel so bad that I was so fucked up out of my mind. What? All y'all were doing it with me.
Fair enough.
I would say there was a few times that I would be one of like 4 people at a show in Florida. So those times were bad for the most part on the drinking end when most of us still did because, it would end badly.
Yeah, I don't know how it was where you were at and from Florida because I was in a whole different area and there was a lot of us in Jacksonville.
Like an hour of Orlando.
I'm from Jacksonville originally.
I went to shows there, Orlando. So we possibly could have been together at a show at one point, and you had no fucking idea. So
no, I'm from Jacksonville originally. So we went from Jacksonville, and we would see a show in Jacksonville and go to St. Pete the next day for the same exact fucking show at Janus Landing. That kind of shit. Yeah,
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I lived in Ocala, so I was almost always in Orlando.
Yeah, you lived where all the hippies played around in the woods and, made bathtub creations.
Oh, yes, I know those bathtub creations. Delicious.
The rainbow festivals.
Yeah,
Take your pots, pans, your canned goods, and toilet paper and whatever you can and go find the hippies in the woods.
Well, it was either hippies or the ultra rich, and the ultra rich had the good cocaine and the hippies had the good acid. So I was always bouncing between everything.
Yeah,
hippies are nicer though and less scary. I would say
I disagree.
If you didn't want to do anything. I don't know. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then explain that one why you disagree, because I'm curious, because I found a lot more nice hippies than anything else in Florida or anything in general when trying to stay sober.
Depends on how hard they're tripping and for how long.
Also, it really depends too. Are you talking about hippies that own their own houses or hippies that live in buses?
No, either or.
Hippies that live in buses are usually super heavy into meth and are assholes about it.
No,
you either work for them and get them more money for more meth, or you buy meth from them and give them more money to make more meth. And then you've got the hippies that live in houses, and then they want to, charge you $40 for a gram of brickweed.
Yep, exactly. That's pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, so both are terrible. Rich people, on the other hand.
Yes and no, I don't know.
We're not talking about
the evil parts.
You're thinking of Grateful Dead hippies. We're not talking about those guys.
No.
I'm just joking. I'm joking.
Fuck
you.
Yeah, are you sure you're not thinking of Denver hippies? Because those are
The
kind
fl-
of nice. They've just got a lot
No.
more money than we do.
No. I don't know. Never fucking mind.
Yeah. But until you've done the Rainbow Kid thing, like your opinion of hippies is solely based on minimal interactions.
Okay, I'm just gonna say my little brother.
Yeah, but those are scary.
I'm just gonna say my little brother he's a homie. He's one of us, and he's in and out of recovery. And he's definitely born in the wrong generation because he's 5 years younger than me, and he is a hippie. And he's pretty cool. He's pretty nice people. But if he microdoses for a very long time, it gets a little crazy. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah, I know. I
Crazy
house.
or goes the wrong way with it.
Say
It
what?
just breaks your mind after
I
a
said
minute.
crazy or goes the wrong way with it because they did it for too long. Yes.
Both, because your mind, you go into psychosis because you've been on it so long. It's just a mental break thing. Like,
Yeah,
you
'cause
know.
at some point reality sets in
Yep.
and it no longer agrees with you.
And reality sucks at times, or the world sucks, but that's technically both sides of it.
When you can trip long enough that you pierce through the veil of what society fog has around you and see the reality, it's a pretty ugly world.
Yeah,
Well, it
exactly.
is
That's why I
the
said it's ugly
ugliest.
either side.
Yeah,
So
I
I like to stay naive in my own little bubble with people like y'all and fuck all the people on the outside and look at the positive. Yeah.
see, to me, the world is like a ladder. You gotta be able to exist on the ladder. You can't just, step off and not be in it. And that's
Yeah.
what a lot of these people want to do is they just want to bypass
Yeah, but
what
you don't always
exists.
need a ladder. Ladders aren't always fun. Why can't you climb a fucking rope? Just saying.
I mean, that's a
Right.
lot harder. You slip a lot more if you're on a rope than you do when you're on a ladder.
Sherlock, but you need to do
Okay,
it the easy way and the hard way.
Well, what about if it's an escalator and you gotta just, not
You just
fall
gotta
off of
exist
it?
on it. That shit's uncomfortable.
Those are
But
scary. No, you just fucking walk the stairs or something that doesn't move. That's not a robot.
robots are dope. Fuck you.
No, robots are scary. Fuck you. They will always be scary.
I get what you're saying, Chris, though. Like, I'm on the ladder, but I have my bubble around my ladder. You know what I mean? I can exist among the people and be a chameleon, but to be inside my aura, I have to fuck with you. Like,
Exactly. It's one of those things like to exist in the world is to be uncomfortable with it, but that's part of the thing about living is living isn't always easy. It's not always comfortable, but it's something we all have to do.
yeah, I mean, me and Frank were talking about last meeting, right? And when you get sober, like, you surround yourself with those people that are going to keep you motivated and push you forward, that are on that wavelength, that are on that vibe, that you can agree on a lot of things with, and you see the good in them and the positivity, so you keep that kind of energy around you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
you don't want to bring a whole bunch of negativity in your circle if you're in that positive bubble and you're living your life and you're living your dreams and you're doing these things. You don't want nobody to be dragging you down, kind of like what Josie was talking about, because you're always going to have those people that are like crabs in a bucket. That's what they do. When they're falling down, they want to pull everybody down that they can with them.
Yeah, I mean, and that's fine. Those people are always going to exist, but you've got to find a way to tune them out. Just push them away.
Don't let them be an influence.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Well, you've always
or
got
unless you want to be an influence to them if they're trying to do good as well.
But I mean,
and
that's
have
what
to
we
deal with
already do.
Both. Yes, exactly.
We always live by example because that's what everybody's always going to see us as. So, when you've got that negative person, you're eventually going to end up pushing them away by not acknowledging how they are treating you negatively or calling them out on their shit. And when you do that, they're either going to fix their shit or they're going to leave.
I mean,
or they'll fix their shit but be scared at the same time and want to leave.
I mean, you can try to help all you want in the world unless the person's ready, then, to move forward from that, kind of like the meeting topic. then maybe you plant seeds and they realize it later and been like, I should have done, or I listened to that, or I remember that. But like at the end of the day, if you're not making an impact, then you're just wasting your own mental capacities and your inner peace trying to like save everybody, which I've had to learn that the hard way just in one of the fields I work in. And it's like the saying though, like if you go to the barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. If you have a whole bunch of negative people around you, eventually you're going to be one of those negative people. You know, that's just kind of how it is.
Yeah, I mean, we are creatures of our own environment, and if our environment is shit, we're gonna end up being shit until we change where we are. Now, but with that, unless anybody else has something to add to that, I think it's a good time to close shit down.
Oh, I have a question.
Oh yeah,
Is there a meeting on Friday?
Yes, there will be a meeting on Friday. And speaking of,
What
thanks
time?
for reminding me. I open the room at 8 and it starts at 8:30, just like every Friday.
Oh, okay. I will pop in, but not for the whole time because me and my best friend are going to that concert.
Definitely
yeah.
pop in.
I will pop in, but probably not for long.
Okay, pop in, have fun, have
Oh,
a
I
blast.
will.
Everybody deserves to have fun.
Oh, we will.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
right.
And
Well,
speaking of, I need to talk to you, Chris.
okay. Well, I'm gonna
Yeah.
go ahead and kill the recording real quick, and then we'll get to it.